Hello beautiful souls and welcome to my channel. Welcome back to those of you who are returning subscribers. Today's pick a card reading is gonna be all about your psychic abilities, all about your spiritual journey, how to develop your abilities, what abilities you are born with, what abilities maybe you have recently activated or are about to come online. We're going to also talk a little bit about your spiritual initiation as those tie in with our spiritual gifts. So as usual, my topics are broad, yet I'm trying to keep it tight as much as I can. But yeah, we're going to basically dive into your spiritual and psychic development and every little thing that you need to know about it. So I hope this topic interests you. And now let's get into picking your pile because I kind of want to do this little exercise, a little psychic exercise. Sometimes I do these. As you can see, we have 3 different piles represented by 3 different cards. First, for pile 1, we have the raw morganite. For pile 2, we have the diamond, and for pile 3, we have the tiger eye. But I also want to do something else. Without looking at the timestamps, I hope you haven't looked yet. I want you to think of 3 flowers. The first flower is gonna be a white orchid. So take your time to imagine it, take your time to think of it, see how you resonate with it. Does it pull you? Does it call to you? The second flower is gonna be a plain red rose, and especially a rose that is blooming and opening up. So that's kind of the visual. So take your time again. Do you resonate with this imagery? Do you resonate with this symbol? A red rose blooming, opening up. And the third and last flower is gonna be a sunflower. Again, taking time with the image. Do you resonate with it? Does it call to you? You can, imagine those flowers a couple of times before you're ready to choose. But you're going to see which flower is assigned to each pile in the timestamps below. So maybe you chose one card, but another flower called to you. So you can either choose the card or you could choose the flower if you did the exercise with me. So I hope this helps you tune even more intuitively into this reading and pick an even more accurate pile. Let me know if you enjoyed this little exercise in the comment section, and I will see you in your reading. The timestamps, as always, are in the description box below, as well as the comment section. Hello pile 1 and welcome to your reading. So if you chose the raw morganite or the blooming red rose, this reading is for you. I'm going to begin with just an intuitive interpretation of the card and just what I see here and what I'm sensing before I start pulling other cards. But I will have a deck in my hands because I like to shuffle cards while I'm kind of thinking and tuning in. So with the raw morganite, the first thing that really stood out to me was the sense of Venusian energy. That's one reason why I assigned the rose to it. So here we have a pile, we have a group of souls who are very connected to Venus. Maybe you have lots of Venus placements, Taurus stellium, Pisces placements, Leo and Libra placements. With Venus comes, of course, beauty. With Venus also comes healing. And with Venus comes the mysteries of Isis, Ishtar, Mary Magdalene, Sophia, the mysteries of Sophia. So we have a very strongly emphasized divine feminine energy in this group, in this pile. You guys are working on opening up your more subtle senses. So clear sentience, feeling things in your body. I'm also getting like tasting or smelling things. Psychically, when you go somewhere or when someone is thinking of you or when a spirit is trying to connect with you, I'm getting that maybe you will smell something that you associate with the person, you would taste something. Sometimes you may have like this random taste in your mouth, and that's most likely because someone is thinking about you and they ate something. So there's this psychic exchange going on with Venus. With Venus, I'm also getting that probably many of you have been activated through a soulmate or a twin flame. So that is a huge part of your spiritual and psychic journey. I have to point out, I'm someone who is into the starseed things and past lives on other planets. So when I say you have connections to Venus, I definitely see here past lives as a Venusian being, past lives being really connected to water, past lives being connected to Lemuria, because Venus, Lemuria, they go hand in hand very often. So if you resonate with these past lives, this is where and when you trained your psychic abilities, and this is like the foundation on which your psychic abilities are built as a Venusian being and as a Lemurian being. And that's why your body is your like biggest psychic organ, not just because your whole body is like bigger than any of your organs, right? But your whole body serves as a psychic organ altogether. Because as a Venusian, your body was of different density, of different matter, and it was much more tuned in than we are now because of many things that kind of compress us into lower density existence and experience of life. But you still carry those, I want to say, memories of like what it was like to be in this Venusian body, in the body of a Venusian being. So your body still carries memories of being able to perceive subtle energies and subtle realms. So you're still able to do that. The message here for many of you is, do not downplay what you feel in your body. Do not downplay sensations that you could excuse for something ordinary, because they're not that. When your body feels off, there is a reason behind it. It's not because, oh, maybe I didn't drink water, maybe my diet, sucks. Of course, these things can affect us, and these things can even affect our psychic abilities, the health of the body. But with you guys, for the most part, when you feel off, when something is off, it's energy that you're perceiving, it's spirits that are stuck that you're perceiving. That's actually something that's coming through now. Many of you can sense when there's been a spirit in a place and that spirit has spent a long time being unable to move on. And sometimes it's not even like the soul itself necessarily, but the energy of the person remains where it was used to. It's almost like that soul moved on, but it didn't collect all of itself as it moved on. A part of it was so attached to something in the physical realm that it remained there. And I feel like you can sense that. This can show up as goosebumps. This can show up as heaviness on your shoulders, or just purely feeling a presence. So this is one of your gifts, to sense things with your body. You have to pay attention to your body. Many of you may excuse those psychic intels, and many of you may ignore those psychic signs that you receive. And Spirit is saying that you shouldn't. And Spirit is saying that part of your development journey psychically is to become a lot more in tune with your physical body and trust it, build trust with it. I feel like many of you feel a little out of place in your own skin, in your own body. because again, you're not used to this type of density. And I'm getting something specific. This is not for everyone, but maybe a couple of particular souls here, because usually the most things that I pick up on are collective, but sometimes they're for one person only. Here I'm picking up on a smaller collective, like 5 or 3 people or something like that. A couple of souls here. I'm getting a Pleiadian reincarnation, okay? A Pleiadian lifetime where you trained how to be in this lower density, in this lower body, and keep your psychic abilities. And still, you were not prepared for the shock of being in a more dense and more physical body. But Spirit is saying that you need to bring up that training into your conscious. So this is some work that you have to do. Dive into your subconscious memory and try to remember that training, those practices that you did, in order to bring back online psychic abilities while in the physical matter, even if you're not used to it. Of course, again, I mentioned them: Ishtar, Isis, Mary Magdalene, Sophia. You can work with these, I want to say, goddesses, although, for example, Mary Magdalene is considered like an ascended master, so goddesses, ascended masters, these ascended souls of divine feminines, I would really advise you to work with them. I think that they will open up your channels. And they will really help you with your magic, with your spiritual and psychic abilities. Oh, interesting. Okay, I'm hearing that some of you are trying to access magic, like almost the type of magic we see on movies when we think of like witchcraft and what you're able to do. I don't know, causing a storm, bewitching people, etc. You're trying to really tune into a more practical, almost like ritualistic magical practice. But I'm getting the presence of these divine feminine figures that I mentioned, and they're coming to tell you that you are magic. You don't need to do like an external type of magic. They really want you to focus on internal magic, internal alchemy, alchemizing the body, refining the body and the senses and the psychic senses of the body. This is what they want you to focus on. And they're saying that some of these external results that maybe you want to achieve through a more ritualistic ceremonial practices of magic, you will achieve these results by alchemizing yourself. So they want you to focus more on internal work. This is what you came to do, and this is what you came to teach and share. I'm getting that especially for those of you who have those Pleiadian codes and Pleiadian training. Once that training, you remember it, once it comes online, once you remember those techniques, and there's a spirit guide laughing, saying that for some of you, you would really think, I'm very weird. Like, you would think that you're very weird doing those practices. Those techniques may look funny. They may sound funny as you try to explain them, but the spirit guide is saying that this is part of tuning into your heart, like that lightheartedness of the practices and that funny aspect. It's part of it. Do not try to become too serious or too, I don't know, stern as a teacher. They want you to remain lighthearted as you remember, as you practice yourself, and when you start training other people. Let's see, what are your psychic abilities? What is your spiritual journey requiring of you? We have Triumph with the Chariot. The Chariot ruled by the Moon. The Chariot is also about achieving a goal, arriving at your final destination. someone needs to hear this, so I'm just a messenger. Sometimes I don't understand the message myself, but Spirit is saying you deserve to be here. You were meant to be here, so don't try to not be here, okay? There might be ways in which you're trying to leave the body, escape, etc. But Spirit is saying that the most magical, miraculous things that you will experience is when you learn embodiment, not leaving it, not learning how to get out of it. Maybe some of you are really into astral projection and things like that, but Spirit is saying that you're supposed to be in the body while working with the energy planes, while you're doing energy work, while you're opening up channels and clients that I believe firmly many of you are supposed to work with. When you're helping others, you have to be embodied and grounded. That was part of what you wanted to learn and experience, and that was part of almost like the contract. These gifts will come online if you stay in the body. I'm also sensing a light on origin for some of you watching this. So some of you, this is about tuning into very ancient body technology, and Spirit is saying don't stop learning. Like, get your nose in the books, because as much as this is about remembering, it's also about following when you're guided to the right information. That's also part of the spiritual journey and the psychic development. When your soul guides you to the right information, you don't need to necessarily meditate to remember something from a past life. Your soul will guide you to a book that will remind you, hey, remember that's something you learned and mastered. And just because you read it from a book doesn't make it less spiritual. And the thing is, when you have that past life foundation and background, when you read it, it's going to come online and you're going to be good at it much quicker than if you didn't have that past life background. So Spirit is saying, never stop learning. But we have Triumph here with the Chariot. This is just a confirmation you're on the right track spiritually, for the most part, except for the things I mentioned where maybe you're relying too much on ritual and ceremony when it's just about inner alchemy and embodiment. And I know that these two, inner alchemy, embodiment, etc., they're a little bit more vague terms, like how do I do it, etc. That's why it can be dissuading to engage with those practices. But yeah, Spirit is saying that for the most part, you're on the right track. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. And also there is a confirmation that this vessel was supposed to be your vessel. There's nothing random or there's no mistake why you are in your vessel, okay? This sort of acceptance is also crucial for you, Pile 1, to activate your spiritual abilities, to trust them more. We have the Hanged Man with Sacrifice. The rainbow coming through her head. This is interesting. Wow, her body is in the earth. Yes. So with the rainbow, immediately I'm thinking of the chakras. You may be working with the chakras. That may be like a huge part of your spiritual work, especially with other people. But here with these grounding techniques, Spirit is saying something about ancient teachings, something solid from the past, that you need to tune into and access. And Spirit is also saying, now again, that's not for everyone here, but for some of you, you have like ancestral knowledge, like your ancient ancestors, the people that you come from, had a lot of knowledge on how to spiritualize the body, and you need to research a little bit more of this, because maybe you're looking outside of your lineage, maybe you're looking into, let's say, Eastern practices when you have a Western lineage. I mean, that's fine, but Spirit is saying that you should, check out if maybe your ancestral lineage and your people also had some ancient teachings on that. It could be herbalism, it could be physical exercises, it could be different holistic practices that eventually led to spiritualizing the body and eventually will lead you to spiritualizing the body. Part of your spiritual journey and the purpose of your abilities, so to say, is to create beauty. With so much Venusian energy that I'm feeling, many of you guys are supposed to create beauty, and there is like a confirmation or almost like a message that's supposed to bring you relief. Spirit is saying that what you're doing, even if it's in somehow, in the beauty industry, or even if it's in the art industry and it's just, beauty, because art is beauty, essentially. Even when it's ugly, it's still about aesthetics. The aesthetics of ugly, right? Ugly. Art. That's just a weird connection of words, but even when you may feel, oh, this is superficial, it's about external appearance, Spirit is saying that with you, Paiwan, beauty will take place in your craft, in your work, among your clients, in your own self, when you do the energy work. So with you, beauty is a result of energetic harmony. So for you to achieve beauty, you gotta do all of the spiritual work. With the Chariot, you have to walk the entire spiritual path, go from point A to point B on the spiritual energetic planes, and then beauty will manifest. So this could look like, for example, the gift to heal skin conditions with Reiki or energy healing. That's just one example, but this could look like channeling forms into your clay work, okay? Like, it could be so many things, but the outer form, the result, we have Venus, right? It rules over the form and beauty and appearances. The outer appearance and the harmony and the beauty of it is a result of the energetic work, of the spiritual work. So if you feel like maybe you shouldn't aim for beauty, to a degree, yeah, you should aim for energetic harmony. But Spirit is saying that it's not vain why you've been trying to create beautiful things, trying to help people feel and be beautiful. There is a spiritual reason why you do it. Come on. What else do you need to know about your spiritual gifts? File 1. Osiris with regeneration. Isn't it funny? Transmutation and beauty. Yes. So you guys are getting this card, and it's so interesting because Osiris in the river is about Isis resurrecting him. This depicts that part of the myth where Isis puts back the pieces of Osiris's killed body, and she, I believe, buries him in this river so she can resurrect him, and the river heals him, and suddenly he is reborn, and he is painted with green skin, and that's a sign of the resurrection and transmutation of Venus. Green is associated with Venus esoterically. So there is a lot of Venusian presence in this card, and it's so interesting that it's showing up here. All right. So if it hasn't become clear, many of you are meant to work with the physical body on an energetic level. Many of you are meant to heal physical problems by addressing the energetic root causes. Many of you are, I see you like literally regenerating the body, regenerating parts of it, hormonal balance, again, scars, things like that. Some of you, I feel like, hold on. This is not even so much as a, I mean, to me, many things are spiritual gifts, but this is not so much the typical spiritual gift where you're psychic and this and that, but some of you have like this gift, almost like a creative way of figuring out the problem. And I'm seeing water, and I'm seeing like, I keep hearing the word tissue, and I'm seeing like molecules of water and like minerals. So some of you may be into the health field, maybe you've studied this, but you're taking an alternate approach to your practice. Spirit wants you to work with water. Spirit wants you to, even if you don't believe in it at first, even if you don't believe in it at first, charge your water with intentions and thoughts, because I do see you have this ability to really code things into the molecules of water, into the minerals. I don't know how else to explain it. I'm not a scientist after all, but I feel like you do have this gift of creating like potions and like healing drinks. I don't know how to explain it. I'm just seeing like these I'm just seeing water that is healing, but you've made it healing. So you will know best if you resonate with this message and you have this unique practice or business or something, and you've been doing this, or if you rely on such a gift, you will know what I'm talking about. This is also about regenerating the divine masculine, right? So this is a part of your journey, and you may be thinking that you're supposed to regenerate or heal a partner if you're dating men, but the message here is more about you and your own inner divine masculine that probably has been exhausted, and you've probably tired and killed by, I'm hearing, compensating a lot in life. Compensating for having fun by working really hard, going into extremes. I'm just getting that many of you possess a very tired inner divine masculine. So maybe the divine masculines in your life don't show up properly. And it's interesting, but it's actually this journey of working with the divine feminine within you and divine feminine archetypes and energies outside of yourself as well, that will help you regenerate the divine masculine, because it's almost like you've relied only and solely on that energy and you've burned out that energy within you. So this is also something you're transmuting and you're regenerating, and it's also part of achieving that beauty, which is a result of your energy work. We have the Isis Oracle here. I just felt that it's very fitting to use it. What else should you know about your spiritual abilities? That's probably the initiation many of you are actually going through right now, or about to go through. You're headed that way of resurrecting the divine masculine. So maybe after an era of learning how to be soft, relax, etc., now you're coming back to healthy amount of structure, healthy amount of discipline in your life. And it may seem or sound very mundane, very boring and tedious message, but it's actually part of the spiritual development. So your gifts are being an empath, being clairsentient, feeling things with your body, working with water, that unique thing that I mentioned. I'm kind of trying to summarize your gifts as we continue with messages about your initiation. Creating beauty, creating form as an expression of energy work, as an embodiment of certain energetic codes, and allowing other people to interact with those codes that maybe they can't see or feel, by bringing them into the physical matter through artwork, any sort of creative outlet. Once someone interacts with your creations, with the beauty you've achieved, they interact with those higher divine feminine codes of healing and bringing harmony that you have accessed, but you had to find a way to bridge them to another individual. And that bridge between those codes that you're channeling and other people so they can access it are your creations, okay? And you have the flower of life here, divine creativity, manifestation. Yes, anything that manifests in your life is usually something you've channeled. So Spirit, this is like an advice here. If you want to manifest abundance, things like that, Spirit is saying try channeling it, if that makes sense. Try working with abundance or working with beauty, or whatever you are trying to manifest, as if it's a living consciousness or a living deity, if you will, a living ascended master, and just try to channel their presence, their energy, their vibe or aesthetic, since we're talking about beauty and form here. Try to channel this and you will see it manifest in your life. So maybe you may do like a channeled painting inspired by Jupiter or by Mars. And for example, with Mars, you want to channel more activity in your life, more movement, more strength, endurance, fire and passion, and put that painting somewhere around you, or a clay figurine, or jewelry, or music, poetry, anything that gives energy and ideas and sensations a form is how you will channel and how you will start to manifest those things into your life. Okay? But Spirit is saying that yes, your creative talents are part of your spiritual gifts. And Spirit is saying that you have to get creative if you are doing like Reiki, energy healing for the body, etc. If that is your practice, if that is your niche, allow yourself to be creative. Do not downplay the power of certain ideas that come to you. Do not downplay the effectiveness of certain weird techniques that may come to you. Alright, any blockages that you need to overcome? Let's see. Any blockages in your psychic abilities that you need to overcome? Connect to heart. That message about being lighthearted and about laughing, even if like something that you channel sounds or seems funny, some technique or practice that you remembered intuitively seems funny to you, Spirit is saying do not be afraid or ashamed to be laughed at or something. Just share those things with people. You have no idea how you may be blocking yourself just because you want to appear quote-unquote professional. So connect to the heart, to lightheartedness, and that's one of the blockages you're here to overcome. Also, maybe you're overlooking the heart chakra and the heart as a psychic organ. But we feel the truth of something we experience spiritually in the heart. Because you may have 10,000 visions, but you feel the truth, the lightness or the darkness of a vision, the goodness or the evilness, the duality, the benefit or the trickstery, if you will, behind the vision. You feel that with your heart. You can't see it with your mind. You may see a snake in your head, but it's your heart that knows. Does that snake symbolize illness, healing, shamanism, transformation? What is it? So that's why you need the heart. So Spirit is advising you to focus on how you feel about a vision, about a person, about a problem you're trying to solve spiritually. How do you feel about it? How does it feel as you face it? We have destruction. This to me is about destroying the divine masculine within you by overusing it and abusing it. I'm getting this message of destruction follows the obsessive urge to create quickly in large quantities, etc. And usually that would lead to burnout and destruction. So you can take it slow. You have the Chariot, but you also have the Hanged Man, which is all about observing, gaining new perspectives. And this almost looks like a pyramid, but we only see two sides of it. It's like a prism of light here. With destruction. Okay, you're gonna hate me for this, but Spirit is coming through with this message of it can be destructive if you're too slow and it can be destructive if you're too quick. So I feel like maybe two different groups are listening, and that's why I'm getting this message. Or maybe you oscillate between these polarities. You're either trying to get somewhere too fast or too slow, and both, like, slowness can lead to erosion, things just losing momentum, things just not aligning properly. And being too quick is like you have no foundation, and it's almost like trying to build a bridge too quickly, and at some point the bridge starts to fall apart. So you have to find a middle ground with this. You have to find your own pace, is what Spirit is saying. That's why I have, again, the Chariot, which is about movement, moving forward, and this standstill of the Hanged Man, and you're in between, and you gotta be in between. You have to find the balance between movement and stillness if you want to avoid psychically destroying yourself. So developing too fast, diving into psychic development too quickly, diving into your spiritual abilities too quickly, trying to push them to develop too quickly, it can be destructive. But also sometimes going too slow, it's like you lose access to the energy that was available to you. And one last blockage before we close this reading. Okay, we have two. We have the universe and boundaries. To me, with the universe, this is about something that I think came through. So it's not about the external ceremonial things that you will do in the rituals. The magic is within you. That's why you have boundaries. Because yes, the whole universe is magical, but you are the universe. And that's something you need to remember, and to come back into yourself. And remember that the magic is within you. The magic always happens within you before you see results on the outside. So maybe one of the psychic blockages is relying on other people, other psychics, other or the universe itself, relying on them, or blaming like the universe for hating you're not manifesting something, or the universe is against me, my guides are not here, do not support me, etc. Things like that. This might be a blockage here. That's why there is this need to focus on the heart, on your inner world. And with boundaries, this is a clear message that Spirit is saying, as an empath, you do need boundaries. That's your biggest gift, spiritual gift. But also, as an energy worker, you need boundaries. As clairsentient, someone who feels things in their body, you need boundaries. You need boundaries because you can unknowingly connect with things you don't want to, that tire you out, that drain your energy. That card is all about grounding. You just need to be in the body. Your clearest spiritual intel and downloads will be when you're grounded in the body, because you're not going to be confused by 10,000 messages, okay? So, Part 1, this is the reading on your psychic abilities. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you resonated. Let me know, and thank you so much for watching until the end. I truly appreciate that. If you want to help me and support my channel, like, share, and subscribe, because this helps so much grow the channel and push videos out there. So that's like the best thing that you can do. Thank you again, and I hope I'll see you in my next reading. All of my personal information is down below. If you're interested more in depth about your psychic development and abilities, that's one particular session, psychic development, that I offered, where I channel a symbol. It's an intuitive drawing, symbol, etc. that I do, and I send a picture of it to you, and I analyze it with you, and then I pull cards and so on and so forth. But it's usually quite in depth, and yeah, if you're interested into developing your abilities further and learning how to do that, you can always book that session. So that's it for now. I hope I'll see you next time as well. Bye. Hello, pile 2, and welcome to your reading. If you chose the diamond or the white orchid, this is your reading. I'm so excited to have you here. So before I dive in pulling cards and interpreting them, I'm going to go off intuitively with the diamond card. So immediately as I saw this card, because I randomly pulled them to represent the different piles. So immediately when this came through for you, pile 2, I thought of, oh, these are my star seeds. These are, I mean, I think we're all star seeds, but some of us awaken to this, others do not, and that's it. But you guys are definitely very, very conscious of your starseed origins. And I was immediately thinking of technology. I was immediately thinking of also the mind and logic and just mental gifts. So for you guys here, I'm sensing you're probably clear cognizant, you know things, and you know things with sharp clarity. I feel like you've had past lives as a starseed, as scientists and beings who operated machinery or technology that was very advanced. You may have a lot of Gemini, Aquarius, Libra placements, especially Gemini and Aquarius. You may also have a bit of Sagittarius placements, a bit of Virgo placements. But yeah, Gemini, Aquarius, Virgo, these are like coming through very strongly because these are the signs I usually associate with technology and intellect in combination. Now, what we know about diamonds is that diamonds are formed under pressure. So, pile 2, your psychic abilities probably came through after some significantly charged and intense event in your life. It could be a traumatic event. Sadly, it's very rare that we develop psychic abilities out of joy and happiness. I don't know why that is. Sometimes I try to explain it, but I still don't think I figured it out. But it is just what I've observed and what I believe to be just objective truth is that psychic abilities are often formed within people who have struggled. And with the diamonds, you have been put under pressure. You have struggled, pile 2, and that's why you have your gifts. That's how you came into your gifts. Now, with this card, I'm also picking up strongly on like thought forms. So maybe you guys are very good at identifying what egregoric structures or thought forms people are connected to without knowing much about them. You're probably very good at tapping into clouds of information as well. So your challenge here is discerning truth from lies, because there is so much information out there, and that is part of your psychic training, discernment of truth. But as a clear cognizant, you guys will very often get downloads about things that you haven't read about, people you don't know, or sometimes even like if you're a writer, for example, and you're coming up with with a world of your own. You would be downloading things that actually exist or are actual facts without having had read of them. So you don't need to read about something to know about it. That doesn't mean that you answered your exams without learning, but you just channel information without knowing it's actually objective facts or information that exists out there. So this is your, I think, so far what I see in the card, greatest gift. And there is like this face in the card almost. And she or he has closed their eyes. And it's interesting how it's like there's a person inside the diamond. So I think you guys can definitely travel to other dimensions, visit different life forms, and communicate with them as well. That is another psychic gift that I see for you. I think when you connect with a thought form, so a concept, an idea that is fed by a collective of people who collectively think about this, that's a thought form. So when you connect to a thought form, you're probably very quick to see it manifest in your reality. For example, you connect to the thought form of people who have bad relationships with their best friend or something like this. You start thinking about that, you watch it in a movie, you start thinking about it, etc. And maybe right the next day, you would see someone who has that or has those issues with their best friend. Like, the things you think about are not just things you think about. I see you as this thought traveler, if that makes sense. And it's almost like each thought you explore, each concept is a whole world that you visit, and you're like an antenna that starts broadcasting that frequency very, very quickly. And very, very quickly you see it manifest in your reality. So you have to be extra careful about the thoughts you pay attention to, the thoughts you allow to grow, the thoughts you allow to circulate in your head. I am gonna be honest, I do see spirits around you, and I do see spirits who are not necessarily past on humans, or I'm seeing spirits who are different from us, and I see them whisper information to you. I see them propelling you to consume certain information, read certain things, etc., think about certain things. And I'm not feeling a good or bad vibe, but more often than not, when things are neutral, they're not good. So this crown chakra of yours, Pile, it's very, very open. You want to protect it somehow. You should definitely place some boundaries around it. So your gift, you are just a typical channeler. Information comes to you. And again, that may manifest in different ways. Through writing, you may be an automatic writer. You just write things that come to you, and those are like downloads people resonate with. You may be, again, just knowing things from nowhere, apparently. But you're a typical channeler, so you can do this if you wanna do psychic work. Channeling is your go-to. But I do see a team of spirits that I'm almost feeling like your higher self wants to pull away from. We have the star card with hope, healing. Again, Aquarius energy, starseed-ish energy. Many of you are probably Arcturian or Syrian, but especially Arcturus is coming through. And we have Six of Cups. It's interesting because we have the star, which the star esoterically in tarot represents the place between reincarnations, or it can represent that space the soul travels when it goes to the other side. But the soul has not yet reincarnated or chosen where to reside. So it's kind of like this neutral area. And then we have the Six of Cups, which talk about soulmates, you know, but also past lives, the astral plane. So you guys are definitely astral travelers. You definitely access those planes where spirits are in between life and reincarnation. Some of you do access the astral schools. Others of you, I kind of see a blockage there, like you can't go fully there. You go to the astral plane, but you can't go to the school areas. Why is that, Spirit? Hold on. Hold on. Why is that? I'm seeing yellow, and I'm seeing like a cap. Why can't pilots you go, those who can go to the astral schools, at least not consciously? What is it? It feels like this greater force just doesn't want you to be there. It's almost like whatever you have to learn, you have to learn it here. Let's see here. Oh, interesting. We have the Ten of Wands, and we have this those bars here. There is something that needs to be learned. I'm getting like this teacher that won't let you in the classroom before you learn something on your own or somewhere else. That's what this feels like. But there is this overall sensation that you're not let everywhere in the astral plane, and to some degree this is a form of protection. Alright. Yeah, we have the High Priestess. Certain things are supposed to remain secret, especially with your gift as someone who very quickly knows. Like when you get a vision, you just know what it means. When you see something, you just know why you're seeing it. You just know, and you gotta trust that inner knowledge, because sometimes it can be confusing. How do I know it's not my intrusive thoughts and it's knowledge? but usually it will feel true in your heart. That's the best way I can describe it. I'm not really an expert in how do you know, but in my experience, you just feel like it's true in your gut, in your heart. But you do have the High Priestess, which is showing me you guys are supposed to be teachers and bridges between the other side and this side. You just have this gift. And your life will be a life of secrets being unveiled and revealed to you. Your life will be a journey of exploring and seeking truth behind certain secrets. But also you will have to keep some secrets to yourself. Certain things that you learn about the spiritual planes, etc., you have to keep those to yourself. I'm hearing Pluto in the 12th, Pluto in the 6th house, one of these two houses. So some of you have this placement, and this is true, especially for you guys. Certain secrets you will have to keep for yourselves. In this lifetime, you're meant to teach, I want to say initiate through your teachings. I'm almost getting this, like, if it were an astrological placement, it would be North Node in the 9th house or something like this. You're supposed to become a teacher. You're supposed to share this information that you have. And that's why you have the High Priestess. She does teach. She does initiate. But also, she's the keeper of secrets. So you initiate when you feel like people are ready. You share the information when you feel like you're supposed to. I think you definitely have the gift to communicate with spirits on the other side. So sometimes that's how you will know things about certain people. Their loved ones would come to you or talk through you. And I'm also getting that for some of you, you can be channeling extraterrestrials. I was going to say ETs. Yeah, extraterrestrials. You could be channeling your own galactic family. We have Maat, truth, interesting, radiance and balance. Interesting that you have Maat with truth because, yeah, you know the truth. This is the Egyptian goddess of order, justice, karma, karmic balance. She is the one who judges the souls in their hearts. She weighs the hearts of the souls against her feather. If the heart is lighter, they can go into the afterlife. If the heart is not, the soul gets consumed by this other goddess monster. Egyptian mythology, it's always interesting. But Ma'at is, again, justice, order, truth, cosmic justice, cosmic order. Okay, so what I'm getting here is your current lifetime is a life in which you're balancing the mind with the heart. I feel like that's one of the reasons why you're not allowed in the astro schools. I want to call them, or you could call them Akashic schools, spiritual schools, etc. In those astro schools, I think you're not allowed because Your orientation will become too mental, too cerebral. And while you're here with the gift of knowledge, you do have the Six of Cups. You do have the heart here as well. Balance. Mud is balance between the heart and the mind. I feel like in your past lives, you were trapped by your mind and trapped by your knowledge. So some of the quote-unquote blockages you feel psychically are not blockages but protections, protective barriers, if you will. With the High Priestess, secrets will not be revealed to you no matter how much you research and dig into it before you're actually ready. And usually secrets, cosmic secrets, secrets about you and your lifetimes and your soul will be revealed to you when there is harmony and balance and healing achieved with the Star card. When you're going after your purpose as well, this is interesting, but I think that your psychic abilities will be strongest when you're pursuing your purpose, even if your purpose is not necessarily psychic development. Okay, not one card resonates. Alright. We have Knum. We have Master Craftsman, Creator of Form, Organizing Principle. Ooh, wow. Eight and 4. Alright. I feel like with the Master Craftsman, this connects to the diamonds again being formed under pressure, and taking time. So with the Master Craftsman, your craft, your psychic development will take time. It won't happen quickly. And I feel like some of you went through this intense period of quick growth and you expected that this is how it's going to keep happening for you, but that's not how it's going to keep happening. And maybe you're feeling like, did I lose my abilities? Why am I slowing down? Etc. But that's because your craft, I think, is going into a new direction. Your gifts are leading you into a new direction. I think your gifts were pretty much about someone who was an active practitioner, or your gifts manifested through an active practice. But I feel like your spiritual journey will force you to become more of a teacher rather than someone who is a practitioner who's good at what they do but they can't teach it. Does that make sense? You probably know such people who are good at their working craft but they could not teach someone else. No matter how good they are, they just don't know how to teach it, how to relay their skills to somebody else. Well, I think that this was you, and this is your 10 of Wands, your blockage. You're good at your psychic abilities, but you probably could not teach others, and Spirit wants you to be able to teach others. I think that's why you're not allowed in those, again, astro schools, because you're not supposed to be a student and a practitioner anymore. You're supposed to be the High Priestess. You're supposed to teach. I'm not saying that you should not be practicing your craft, but you're supposed to start teaching. And sometimes some teachers are not super talented at their craft, but they're really good teachers and their students become great. So Spirit is saying that part of your spiritual journey is to start relaying your knowledge and your abilities to students. You probably have a lot of information and Spirit wants you to organize it. That's why I have the organizing principle. Because, again, information for you is like living worlds, living entities, and things that come into life in the 3D. So Spirit wants you to organize it so that it doesn't breed chaos. When you don't organize the information that comes to you, it starts to get chaotic in your mind and in your 3D life. Wow. Enter the chamber of healing in the divine chamber of Lady Isis. This is almost like entering like a theater, salon or something. And we have a similar tool here. If you notice this blue thing with a red line around it, we have it here as well. I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure what it is, but before we put even the Knum card and I was just staring at Matt, this looked like a door opening. I know it's probably not that, but it looked to me like a door opening. And here we have enter the chamber of healing with, again, almost like this veil pulling to the sides, these curtains opening to the sides, and you have to enter. These doors again make me think of traveling. So that's your other big gift of traveling to other places. Pilots, I feel like you could be a really skilled hypnotherapist. You could be really skilled at quantum hypnosis, making people go places. This is something strange. This is a bit of a random thing outside of the narrative we were kind of going with in your reading, but you have this gift of making people enter spiritual places, energetic places. You can guide them into a healing temple or room. You can guide them into an Akashic library. You can guide them into different etheric sites. And it's almost like you know exactly what to say, you know how to describe it, you know how to weave words in a way that helps consciousness leave the body or travel. So if you're a master at astral traveling, you could become a teacher at this. But yeah, this card is showing up because I told you there are certain blockages here. So it's not just the fact that, oh, you're blocked from the schools because you have to be a teacher yourself, and Spirit no longer wants you to be just a student. No, this card is also showing up because you do have something to heal. The Star card is also about healing. There's something here that needs to be healed, and I can't keep and I keep looking at this, and it just looks like a soul trapped in the diamond. So I do feel like there are certain ceilings, certain blockages that trap you, that you need to break through, because you're capable of traveling to places and dimensions. And if you break those ceilings and seals and blockages and so on and so forth, you will be able to go places you've never imagined, astrally. But what I'm getting is that you will break through those blockages when you're ready. So once again, it's not something you can really force. I'm not also saying to sit on your butt and do nothing. Definitely it will take spiritual work. It will take cleansing a lot and just freeing yourself from any attachments and so on and so forth. But at the same time, you won't be able to force it. I'm getting like this spontaneous unblocking. Look at that portal of light, which is exactly what the star represents. And you know, portal of light, like that's like the light when you enter the light, right? So she glides on wings through time and space, Isis, with the portal of light. I'm telling you, you can travel through time and space, probably remote view other timelines. And that's why probably you also have the master craftsman with creator of form, because as your consciousness travels through time and space and as you observe other timelines, you materialize things outside of your material experience. It's like you experience material planes outside of your point of incarnation, when you remote view other timelines. So it's like you give form to things your consciousness is not supposed to be conscious of or observing, let's say. She has light coming out of her headdress or whatever she's wearing, just above her head. She has that too. And this is interesting. Again, this is about the crown chakra, but this is probably because it's above the head, the soul star chakra. So not only you have an open crown chakra, you have a very active soul star chakra. So the link to your higher self, Pile you, it's very strong, which means that you're getting lots of downloads from your higher self. Lots of good information from your higher self. So 2 chakras to work with. Crown chakra, the soul star chakra. And these are also the 2 chakras you want to protect. And again, envisioning a sphere of light engulfing you and so on and so forth. Like those are just the very basic visuals for energy protection. And again, that's not necessarily a spiritual gift or an ability, but it's something that I think you've been capable of and has happened to you. Many of you have gone to astro spacecraft and you've received healing there. You've received some sort of operation, some sort of procedure. And you have guides saying that you have access to, specifically those of you who resonate with Arcturus, to Arcturian technology for healing the body. You can go to these astral planes, etheric sites, and so on and so forth, whatever you want to call them. You can go there, you can travel to that place and use the technology on yourself to help yourself heal, to help yourself feel better, if you wish. They're available to you because you've used them in your previous incarnations. I'm getting something from spirit portals. If you're using like portals to go to certain places, travel to the past, other timelines, travel to different astral places, etc. If you're using portals, I'm getting that maybe you hear music or some sort of a melody or sound. Spirit is saying that you need to train yourself to learn what the melody or the sound means or represents. You need to learn to translate it. That's something you can start training. Practicing discernment through sounds and engaging with sounds and frequency and music. Well, pile 2, I feel like that's all I have for you. So let me know if this resonated. I'm super curious to read your comments. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it helps you. And thank you so much for staying until the end of this reading. All of my information for personal readings and psychic development readings as well is down below in the description box. You can like, share, subscribe to help my channel grow because this helps me so much. And I hope I'll see you in my next video as well. So until then, pile 2. Bye. Hi pile 3, welcome. If you guys chose the tiger eye crystal card or the sunflower, this is your reading. So you guys maybe chose the sunflower, right? One or the other, the card or the flower. But if you did choose the flower, this clearly shows connection with the sun. You're being radiant right now. You're working with solar beings. And that is just really usually exciting times because when we work with solar energy, a lot of things in our life feel more joyous, lively, exciting. We just feel more alive. Now, what I'm picking up from the card in terms of your spiritual journey and spiritual abilities, first of all, is protection magic, protection, just a gift for protection, whether you do it through magic, through energy, through meditation. You are very gifted at protecting yourselves as well as protecting those around you. Maybe you're one of those people who have had near-death experience or something almost happening to you, but luckily it didn't happen because something else distracted you, slowed you down, or sped you up, and basically you avoided an accident or you avoided something bad happening. There is a lot of protection around you, pile 3. I'm also picking up on that many of you, your spiritual gifts come from a grandmother figure. For some reason, the face here in the card reminds me of a benevolent grandmother figure. So whether she's on the other side or not, um, this is where you've inherited a lot of your gifts from. Here with the tiger eye, I'm also getting something else with the pyramid, with energy going up. I'm getting something about improvement. So part of your spiritual gifts, one of them, is that wherever you go, whoever you talk to, whoever spends time around you, things in their life or things about the situation improve after you engage with it. Your energy uplifts the energy around you. You uplift the energy of the very land where you live, the very city where you live, the places where you travel. So you're one of those light workers that sometimes you're called to go somewhere or call a friend, and it's a very random calling or need, but that's because this place or this person needed your energy, not as in energy theft or like vampirism. They needed your ability to raise the frequency just by being somewhere, just by being present somewhere or with someone. Your psychic abilities, although that could be true for many of us and for the other piles, but I feel like it's especially relevant for your journey. Your psychic abilities are a legacy of lifetimes and lifetimes working on them. Alright? So it feels like in all of your lifetimes you are psychic. In all of your lifetimes you did this spiritual work. This is not something new. This is not something new that you're trying because you've incarnated during the age of Aquarius or something like that. You've always done this type of work and you will probably always do it. Shadow, interesting. This is number 18. I think is the moon card. Yes, the moon card. The moon and the sun. Shadow to the sun. And look at that. The sky and gold energy. The sky, gold energy. Okay, we have some symmetry here in the colors. You guys are very active spiritual warriors. I mean, not only you have like psychic abilities that are just, you know, you're being intuitive, you can sense things, etc. I feel like you have this well-rounded package where not one ability is too strong and the other is weak. You have like a little bit of everything, but the biggest reason why you have gifts and the biggest part and aspect of your spiritual journey is being a spiritual warrior who is here to actively fight against the shadow, the collective shadows, lower dimensional beings, lower energetic beings. You are actively shining light and you're actively raising the vibration wherever you go because you are a light warrior. You have the 9 of Swords with suffering and silence. Okay. Fighting demons, right? That's the 9 of Swords where you fight your nightmares, you fight your demons. you have a strong connection to the sun. And for some of you, I don't know if you're Christian, but you also have a strong connection to Jesus or Christianity is what I'm getting here, simply because the sun is really connected to him. But it could be another solar messiah, if you will, another holy son figure, because Jesus is not the only one that you're connected to. You're just very, very connected with the sun and solar beings, okay? And they protect you, so low vibrational frequency can it's very difficult for it to connect to you or to stay around you for too long, to linger in your space, in your life. You give people strength and passion. I feel like you inspire those things within people. Isn't it interesting? We have 18, sun, moon, or light and shadow, and here we have 9, half of 18, and only the sun. So you guys are rising from, you've had incarnations in highly developed civilizations, but at their dawn, not dawn, at their dusk, at their fall, at their collapse. Okay, this is when you incarnated, and you've seen that, and I feel like your soul in this current incarnation is rising from chaos and the ashes of a lifetime that ended in ruins. So you might be a little intimidated by your spiritual abilities or your spiritual purpose, and it's almost like even when you run from it, you can't run away from it, you can't escape it. Not really. Even when you try, you still end up doing your spiritual work. Even when you're not actively putting yourself out there as this spiritualist or a psychic, the people who need you find you and you can't help it. Part of your spiritual gifts is being in the right place at the right time, meeting the right people. Higher love and wisdom. Hathor, Set, and Wadjet. And right timing and direction, exactly. You are at the right time in the right place. Sotis, Khonsu, and Amun-Ra. Okay. Let me very quickly, pile 3, read about these 2 cards. Higher love and wisdom, Hathor, Set, and Wadjet. The magic of Hathor's unconditional love prepares us to meet our shadow selves. Are you kidding me? Also, Hathor is often depicted as the one breastfeeding Horus, who has the eye of the sun and the moon, but he's also like a solar sun, a son of the sun. Okay, so it's very, very interesting she's showing up. So Hathor's unconditional love prepares us to meet our shadow selves. Set, as the trickster, shows us our shadow and clears the pathway for each of us to receive Wadjet's great awakening and the infusion of life force energy. You guys are light warriors, and in this lifetime, you're battling the collective shadow along with your own shadow, because you are replenishing this life force you lost in a past life or in a collection of past lives. You're slowly losing it, and now it's like your rebirth, but you need to overcome the shadow you succumbed to. And it's not a shadow you chose on purpose. It was just a natural cycle of your soul's evolution, okay? When you draw this card, engage with these Neteru or deities directly and see how they're a part of your life now. Allow yourself to experience the love of Hathor and the allies you can make. You can take with you as you face the shadow in yourself and your situation. With the ensuing magical resolution, you can stand with humanity. With humility before Wadjet's towering power. So Wadjet is also a goddess of protection, protecting the pharaohs. That's why she's depicted in front of their third eyes. So pile 3, you would be good with magic and ritual. Unlike pile 2, you would be actually pretty good with magic and ritual, and especially protection magic. Now about the right timing and direction. The shining star Sotis generously pours her gifts upon our planet as Khonsu, the moon god, travels the sky reflecting for us the faces and phases of our divinity, and Amun-Ra, the radiance of the sun's all-seeing eye, transfigures ourselves and our creations into the alchemical gold of enlightened being. So this card is basically telling you, you've been through the shadow realm, you've faced the downfall of civilizations and the downfall of maybe your own soul, but Sotis is basically illuminating that, hey, this is part of the journey. This is part of coming into your light. Going through your downfall is part of your ascension. If you have chosen this card, focus upon the images of the star, the sun, and the moon. Notice how the combined energies of these Neteru infuse your daily life experiences with their potent gifts and power. With their attributes brought to the fore of your consciousness, you will see clearly how, when, and where you, as Anubis, because in this deck Anubis is like the fool, it's like the hero of the journey, where you as Anubis are moving forward appropriately in your personal world and how your actions reflect on our planet. So you are exactly where you're supposed to be, and what you're doing and just your energy and your magic affects the whole collective. I was looking at this pyramid and the little lights in it traveling up, and this is like the myriad of souls currently reincarnated and myriad more to come, and how we all collectively are pushing for Earth to evolve toward the top. So I think this card with the right timing and direction, this is just a confirmation that you guys are light workers. Even when you deal with the shadow, you deal with it because your mere presence around it uplifts it, okay? So there is a reason why maybe sometimes you face darkness in your life. You have to, because your focus on it, your attention, your gaze is laid upon the shadow, illuminates the shadow, appraises the shadow, uplifts it, helps it ascend, okay? Let's see. Alright, too many cards. Cartouche, divine names of power. You're probably someone who can do deity work. You can work with the different names of different deities. And you can do ceremonial, practical, ritual magic. It will work for you. The spirit is saying that you can stick to, just being a light worker who, with their mere presence, they uplift the earth. It's almost like even if you don't do anything, you're still going to be doing your spiritual work, just because It's such an intrinsic part of you, but you could be doing a lot more if you want to. Ancient power mysteries. Hear the rattle of Isis playing. I'm going to read about this one card. The rattle of Isis, the sistrum, is playing in the hand of the goddess now. Can you sense it with your inner hearing? Its vibration reaches through your crown chakra and enters your body, initiating you into great ancient power mysteries of sound, creativity, and healing. This is a time when words and music will become increasingly important on your spiritual path and healing journey. So maybe using music and crafting your own spells is a part of your journey with the divine names of power here. Words and frequency, like you should pay more attention to that. I feel like you guys are in this on this part of your journey where spirituality enhances your life and your experience, and you should give into it. Sacred dance, sacred music, playing that feels sacred to you at least, and to your soul. Moving your body in ways that feel sacred to you. Connecting with beings that feel sacred to you as well. Like, all of these practices will enhance your life, your 3D experience. And there is almost an old school way of doing things with you, but also old school meaning probably reading old books on magic, ritual practices, ancestral teachings about spirituality, and so on and so forth, yet adding a slight twist of your own. But old school will serve you well, pile 3. Feel like you're doing things right, so there isn't much coming through, to be honest. Is there anything else that pile 3 needs to know? 10 of Cups. Luck, good fortune, happiness overall. Okay. I think your spirituality will bring you a lot of abundance. And the Chariot. The power of will. Again, we have light and shadow. You guys are supposed to work with both. Do not be afraid. You are radiant enough as it is. There's no reason to be afraid of the shadow, of your own shadow, of, processing it, facing it, etc. There's no reason to be afraid because you're too powerful and too solar, okay? Is there any blockage, something that you need to work through? Oops, it fell to the floor, hold on. Okay, here it is. We have higher perspective. Yeah, I feel like That's it. This may sound a little boring to some of you. I feel like you can do any branch of psychic development and it will work for you. I feel like, again, you have a well-rounded package of psychic gifts. The usual, intuition, divination, all of these things will work for you. Whatever you pick up spiritually will work for you, is what I'm getting. But with higher perspective, the biggest purpose of your spiritual journey and your greatest gift that you don't even need to really develop so much is having your attention on things to shift their frequency. And the only work that you're doing actually is when you gain a higher perspective on a situation, when you start thinking about it from a higher point of view, you immediately uplift again the frequency of this situation. For example, two people fight and you observe them, you don't know them, but you're thinking, maybe they chose to fight, but their souls actually love each other. And maybe they chose to fight just because they want to learn something and they want to help each other grow, but they don't actually hate each other, even though in their human experience they believe that. That higher perspective is enough to lift the vibration between those two people. I hope this makes sense, but yeah, your attention is enough. Your presence of energy is enough. So, pile 3, really, you can do it all, really. It just, whatever you pick and choose, it will work for you. So, yeah, pile 3, I hope you resonate with this and you enjoyed it. Let me know, and thank you so much for watching until the end. Like and share and subscribe if you want to help my channel, because this is the best way to support me. All of my information is in the description box below. If you want a personal reading, I do offer psychic development readings especially. So they focus on psychic abilities in your psychic journey. I channel a symbol or a small piece of artwork that I then analyze and interpret as in what it means to you and your journey. So if you're interested in that, my information is in the description box. And thank you again so much for watching. I hope I'll see you next time as well. Bye.